So I'm back. So in the summer of 2015, Wendy and I set out to find out what diseases are growing, how much they're growing, and if we really were imagining this idea of a decline in health in America. So there weren't a lot of stats out there on growth. There are a few stats on size of different diseases and some trends, but trends were difficult to find. So it turned out we looked at about 190 different diseases and we found the 40 fastest growing. We focused on those and we found 36 of them had more than doubled since around 1990. 1990 jumped out as a sort of beginning point for this growth of disease. Then we saw that 20 of the 36 had more than tripled. We knew we were onto something. There's a trend here. All these diseases growing in lockstep, all these diseases that seem to be unrelated, seem to be growing about the same way. So we wondered, is there something in common? Is there a biological factor at the bottom of this that could explain it all? Is there a unified theory for chronic disease? We were fascinated. So the first thing we checked out was chronic inflammation. Now, everyone knows chronic inflammation is connected with chronic disease. It's since 2004, Time Magazine article. This article talked about the growth of chronic inflammation. It was called The Fires Within, and America suddenly was captivated by the idea of chronic inflammation being a factor. Turned out all 40 diseases were connected to chronic inflammation. No surprise there. Then we thought about the idea of free radicals. Now, free radicals are the things that we try to control with antioxidants, strawberries, blueberries. We are looking at free radicals as destructive entities in the body that tear up different biological functions and destroy lipids or healthy fats, undermine our proteins, actually destroy DNA. So we thought that would be a good place to look. And what we found with antioxidants, or oxidants rather, the oxidative stress is what they call it, is that yes, all 40 diseases were too connected with oxidative stress. And there seemed to be a link between oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. And we went on. We found 4 more biofactors, or biomarkers as it were, all connected to the 40 fast-growing diseases. And we start to see a picture of chronic disease, a model. If all 6 of these biofactors were connected to these really different diseases, Alzheimer's, obesity, erectile dysfunction, stroke, fibromyalgia, ADD, autism, they didn't seem to have anything in common. Yet there were 6 factors here that were just jumping off the page. We looked at research from the CDC, from NIH, from NCBI, all government websites. We validated this with a science that we already know about. We didn't discover anything new, but we saw patterns. And then we saw the best thing. We saw a single molecule that kept on recurring in the literature. This molecule seemed to be connected to everything, all the biofactors. We wondered about this molecule. It's called peroxynitrite, and it's made in the body. It's not necessary. It can be triggered from the body, but it's also triggered from external sources. And we found a landmark paper on peroxynitrite, a paper written by 3 rock star scientists at NIH, National Institutes of Health, the gold standard for research. A beautiful paper. This should win the Nobel Prize. 1,500 studies, 180-page paper, and the lead author, Pal Patcher, said that over 100 biological conditions or biological disruptions are caused by peroxynitrite in this paper. They also said 60 chronic diseases are connected with peroxynitrite. This was clear proof that peroxynitrite was at the heart of chronic disease. And we now realize there could be a disease model here. There could be something that's predictive. If we understand the underpinnings, the root cause, if we understand the disease state, now we can see why is it that when you get into this disease state, Sometimes you head down the autism path. Other times you become depressed. What causes this disease state to turn into a specific disease? These are the questions we asked. But we are looking for something bigger. We're looking for all of us to join together and do this search. Search for the cause. Search for what's going on in our health in America today. Why are 170 million people sick? Why are there 679 million reported instances of just 36 diseases we looked at? What if we looked at the rest of them? How many would there be? This is a $2.7 trillion problem every year for America. But worse than the economic burden is the personal cost, the psychic costs. Family, friends, work, lost productivity, inability to execute, inability to do the things we need to do. It's hard to think. You've got pain, you've got anxiety, there's sleep issues. These diseases are prolific, they're multi-symptom, and they're devastating to us. So I wanted to talk about the health part first, and then I wanted to talk about how did we get